how to gain confidence so you can brand yourself to your clients, to your audience, and to the people who are actually looking for you to maybe even employ you, or just even have a chat with you, or even have a relationship with you. So it's all about how we put ourselves out there and how we can find the right person to communicate with by just showing our confidence and how and what brand we are promoting out there about ourselves. Hi, my name is Helia Singh. I'm a wealth coach, and in today's episode, we are just talking to one of my other heroine guests here. She is a personal branding strategist slash confidence coach, because these two will come hand in hand together. And so we're going to talk about is that how you can improve your branding online, offline, and just attract the right customers, right business, and the right energy to yourself. So without further ado, I would like to introduce my beautiful guest, Janine Manning. Hi, Janine. Thank you very much for being here.
Hi, Hilly. It's lovely to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
I appreciate that. I know you are very busy. You are a girl who's just going all around the world. I'm so envy you when I read your profile. I said, oh my God, I wish I was here. I wanted to travel to all these countries. And I can imagine with that much experience, and traveling itself, it just brings a lot of experience. But dealing with people from different culture, different personality, and working in the business in executive level. So that must have given you a lot of insight into what you do. So please share with us, what is this personal branding strategies? Is it the same as marketing? So what's your definition in there?
Yeah, so it often gets confused. So when I think about it, personal branding is about you, the individual. So you may own a business, you may be a change maker and an entrepreneur. Personal branding is all about you. It's about how you show up. It's about how people perceive you. It's about your personal reputation. It's what you stand for. Whereas the marketing is more about your business. So it's about looking at your website. What are you doing on social media? What is your brand colors, for example? Now, they definitely do cross over without a doubt. One should support the other, especially if your business is built off the back of your personal brand. So if it's your own named company, or you are the lead coach, facilitator, service provider, then they definitely cross over. But personal branding is all about you, and just you being in the driver's seat, understanding what's in your control to shape your reputation and to shape how people perceive you.
Oh, wow, that's great. So how do you help people to understand what is their branding? Because I can hear people talking or thinking loud, just saying, okay, how do I know what is my personal brand? Or is it something about the color that I like? Or is it about, what is it about?
Yeah, so what I find really interesting when I first start working with clients is the first thing they go to is, right, it's all about my wardrobe, it's about my haircut. I'm like, oh wow, that's like a little tiny percentage of the process of personal branding. So when I think about personal branding, it's about what you choose to put front and center. From my perspective, I could put front and center being a mom or an entrepreneur or a coach. I could talk about all my travels around the world. There's lots of things I could choose to put front and center. But when we think about personal branding, we really want to think about, like, what do we want to be known for most? And so for me, it's about being a motivational force for greatness. And that comes down to being about personal branding, right? So it's all about making those choices about what you want to put front and center, and understand what that sounds like in terms of, the label you give yourself, what you speak about. So your content, what you have a voice about, what you stand for or stand against. It's really boiling it all down and making sure that every experience someone has with you, from doing a keynote or being on a podcast or writing a LinkedIn post to a face-to-face meeting, that experience is consistent. And when one person speaks to another, they say, oh, I met Janine and she's full of energy and she's really, really wise in what she talks about and she's very practical. And so they're the same themes coming through, and therefore you're crafting or shaping the experience people have with you. Now, of course, what you wear does add to that perception. So if you were someone who is want to be perceived as very kind of creative, and the way you dress is not overly creative, then you're potentially missing an opportunity to just add that visual element to your brand. But in all honesty, it's about consistency, it's about authenticity, and it's about having a strategy so you know how you want to show up in each and every experience with everybody that you meet.
Oh, wow. That's great. I really like that, especially when you say the word authenticity. To me, that just explains it all.
Yes.
Because as a woman, of course, in business, we've been trying to fit into the boxes that either the society was us or the perception of people. Like, okay, I'm a wealth coach. People are expected me to have this nice car, this or that. It's just the perception. But at the same time, is this really aligned with who I am? Or is it just faking it? So I really like that. That's very important to know. And also, I know, in fact, that even people who are not even into business, even I'm sure there are people who are watching this, not necessarily have got a business, but it's about themselves. So the branding is not just about having a business on the side, or am I mistaking, or am I just thinking too philosophical?
No, look, we all have a brand, right? Because you think about us as human beings, it's a human thing. We like to label. So we like to see someone and label them as being successful or, extroverted or, a business person or we have all these labels. So when people talk about us, and it's the words people choose to use to describe us is our brand. So whether we are a university student or we are a stay-at-home mum or we are a business, whatever we are, the reality is we can shape the words people use to describe us. And it's just about being conscious about it. And that goes back to the authenticity piece, right? Like, there's no point having a brand being massive on TikTok, for example, but it being completely and utterly not who you truly are. And there's no authenticity because you can't sustain it. For me, a real brand it's about knowing who you are. It's about loving and embracing every element of you, from your values and your strengths to your belief systems. It's about knowing the change you want to make in the world, the voice that you want to have, and being able to encapsulate all of that into, your brand strategy that enables you to show up consistently and authentically, and for people just to see the best in you and to know what you're about. And therefore, that's the power of branding, right? Because the power of branding then is opportunity. Because if more people are saying the same thing about you, then there's greater trust in your brand, there's greater trust in your reputation, and therefore more people will actually put you forward or introduce you to someone else, and off the back of that comes opportunity. So opportunity to make more friends, opportunity to network more, opportunity to bring in a new business, opportunity to influence, to get a deal across the line. All of that comes from people knowing who you are, knowing what you stand for, and trusting that. And that, to me, is the essence of personal branding.
That's great. Thank you. And I can imagine that many, even moms who are watching this, because I've got a 16-year-old daughter, just said that, I wish these things to be taught in school.
Yes.
High school level. Because they need to have this, instead of having just a sex education, they need to know about how to brand themselves and what is important. And this way, they will gain the confidence and also learn to be true to themselves rather than trying to fill other people's shoes and then, feeling lost at the end.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
I've got a 10-year-old daughter, and I can't agree more with you. And I think for me, one of the core elements of branding is knowing your values and going back to those core foundations of who you are. And, my daughter knows her values and at 10, and we will talk about it. And I love that because her values shape how she turns up. Her values shape how she responds in a situation. Her values shapes how she chooses to dress or talk or what she talks about. And I am with you. I would love every child to do deep values work in their high school years, to really just know who they are and embrace who they are and have that confidence, that navigation guide, because I think so many people don't have that at the moment. And part of branding is about standing out. And the best way to stand out is just be your beautiful, unique self and know that and put that out to the world.
Great. Thank you for that. So, confidence, of course, that's, I believe it, about 10, 12 years ago when I started my self-discovery journey, which is keep going. So I haven't got there yet. So I was confused between having confidence and self-esteem, self-confidence and self-esteem. So of course I did a lot of research and read a lot of books, and even about the book, it says how to increase my confidence. But in a but I had to do a lot of work to get there. So do you have any shortcut for people who don't have time to go through that journey?
Hear about this just the other day. So as you kind of alluded to before, look, I have had a coaching business in 3 different countries. I work globally with clients, and I've been really blessed to work with such a diverse range of clients. And the one common denominator with all of my clients is confidence. And it doesn't matter if they are a CEO of a big 4 or they are a starting out graduate that's just got, big vision and aspirations. It's confidence, right? And that's always that underpinning piece. My cut through on this, my kind of quick step to doing this is action. We gather confidence by gathering evidence. We increase our confidence by gathering evidence. So the more small steps we take, the more evidence we gather that we are capable of it. The more times we fall down, but we learn from what we do and we get back up again and we apply that learning, the more confidence we get. Confidence comes from momentum. It comes from taking action. And I'm not talking about taking massive leaps and expecting yourself to go from crawling to running in, overnight, but break things down, chunk them down into small bite-sized pieces and celebrate every step that you take. Because the more you celebrate it, the more you recognize within yourself the capability that you have. And I have seen clients literally turn their lives around in months and go from not ever even thinking about being on a podcast or speaking in front of a group of people to being out there and speaking with confidence and authenticity just by taking lots of small bite-sized steps and constantly padding, learning, reapplying, and gathering the confidence by doing it. So I think that's the shortcut to it is just lots of steps and lots of and lots of learning moments, right? Like I love that saying that there is there is no failure, there's only feedback, right? And so the more we gather, the more we fail, the more feedback we get, the more kind of equipped we are to get back on that horse tomorrow and do it differently and learn that we can do it. So that's my tip.
Wow, that is great. Amazing. Look, I wish I would have come to you before I went through that journey and reading so many books and self-doubt. And even because there was a time I used to think that, look, I was relating being an introvert to not having enough confidence. Because, I don't want to go and talk. I don't want to raise my hands. I don't want to be the one who just goes and, do things or be a trendsetter. It was even scary for me to think about. And I thought that means that, okay, I don't have confidence. But that was my nature. And to even distinguish between these two was a hell of a hard work. And then I evaluated that, okay, fine, I'll accept who I am as an introvert, but okay, what else I can do? I gave myself permission as an introvert to be a leader. I can still do things. And there is still authenticity there. I thought if I'll do that, that means I'm not authentic. And it's amazing how we interpret things in our mind, and we will stop our own success just because what's the dialogue we have inside our own brain.
Absolutely. There is such power in unpacking who you are and knowing who you are at the core of your being. And I go back to confidence again. Like confidence comes from knowing yourself. It comes from knowing how you want to respond in a situation, what you want to talk about, what you want to be a voice about. And so when I think about branding as well, like branding also helps with the confidence because it gives you've got the clarity as to how you want to show up in the world, how you want people to experience you, what you're going to do to shape that experience and what you're going to be putting front and center. And I think they all come together. And I think whether you're introverted or extroverted, I think, we can all do with greater knowledge of ourselves because I think that does give us the confidence. And someone that has confidence has wow factor. And when you have wow factor, it's easier to stand out and for people to trust you. And of course, that's where branding comes in because, you become the go-to person. So I love what you're saying. And I think just going back and having that self-knowledge, and that's why having those foundations of self-knowledge piece sits at the heart of personal branding. And I think if you're in a business, get your personal brand clear first, because I think that then gives you that foundation on which to build your business and to have those great conversations with the marketing specialist, because then you can go to the marketing specialist with absolute clarity and confidence about the perception, the experience that you want people to have of you and your business.
Thank you. Thanks very much for these wise words that you have given us. So just in general, of course, I know you take your clients through a journey to help them to, get the brand out there and so be successful, or at least show who they are. But in general, let's say if somebody wants to engage your services or talk to you, so what's the map that you'll take them? So is it first about talking about themselves, their childhood, what they like, or is it talking about what their business? Just can you please just very briefly?
Absolutely. So I break it down into 3 pillars. So the first pillar is always the pillar around self-awareness. So we need to know who you are at the heart, at the core of who you are, because your brand gets built from that place. So we work on who you are and getting that clarity, and we are able to then define for you your own personal brand strategy. So that comes off the back of that. What we also do during that time is we then also get feedback from your network as well. So that then moves into the brand kind of development space, where we then work with, are there things that are holding you back? Are there limitations? Are there things that we could be dialing up? We get feedback from your community as well, which is always a little bit confronting for my clients, but so powerful, and they're so happy that they have done that. And so we really work on fine-tuning the brand and being very clear about what that looks like. How do I live it? How do I breathe it? What does it sound like? What's my narrative? What's my voice? What's my pitch? All of these beautiful pieces. And then the final piece is we then go out to market. And part of going out to market is looking at platforms. So how are you showing up online, offline? How do we align your brand? So we're making sure that you are putting the same thing front and center. You're talking about the same content that you want to be known for, that the experience people are having with you across all platforms are the same. So we work on what it looks like, and then we build up your visibility and we build up your credibility in the marketplace with your audiences. So there's a very structured process that has worked for my clients for years that I walk people through. But having said that, and as you know, as a coach, everybody's different. So there is lots of flow, there's lots of fluidity within the process and the program itself. Everybody gets to the end stage of feeling super confident, very clear, huge amount of clarity about who they are and their brand, and feeling really confident about getting out there and self-promoting in an authentic way that plays to their strengths. So it's a very rich program. It's not for the faint-hearted, I'll be honest. I'm there along the way. So I'm very much a coach that's in my client's corner. I'm there between sessions, because I think often that's where the fear can set in and the handbrakes can start to come up. So we have lots of spark calls as well between the key sessions, just to make sure we're moving forward. But it's life skills in a lot of ways, and it's a roadmap that takes my clients usually forward for the next 5 years in terms of getting clarity on who they want to be, the voice they want to have, their content that's out there. We map out, what their visibility plan is going to be, who they want to get in front of, who their hit list is. There's lots of really great pieces of work that we start and we get traction on, but that will stay with the client and really kind of enable them for the next, 5 years to get the traction that they want and to build their influence as a change maker in their business.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yes, it is absolutely a journey. So we need to put the work in there, but it's great to have someone who's already got the experience and not just only the experience in what you do, but you have experience with different people and culture. And we are living in a time that we all are influenced, whether we like it or not. We are influenced by many things, and not just about where we're living, because we are exposed to internet. So we see things, what's happening, let's say in China, what's happening in US or in France or here. So we are influenced by those ideas. But to cut the noise and just find, who we are and how authentic it is. So it's great to have a coach like you in our corner. So folks, you've heard it all from Janine. And if you want to be confident, if you want to be who you really are, so that's the B Agency. Oh, wow, what a name. What a great name. Thank you so much, Janine, for being here. We will put Janine's details and how to reach her and get her and have some strategy session with her and find out how she can help you directly. So then, whatever is stopping you, at least just start here. So, and then the rest, I'm sure she'll take care of that. And if you have, Janine, any freebies or any special gift for my audience, please send us the link and we will add it in their bio.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day. And yes, we will talk to you soon again. All right. Bye for now.